Hello and welcome back to my channel E-Maths, and today I'm back with a new topic, and that is lines and angles. Lines and angles is really an interesting topic if the concept is clear to everyone. Well, lines and angles consist of point, line segment, rays. Sounds easy, but when these lines take shape of parallel lines, transversals, intersecting lines, it becomes quite complicated if you don't understand the things which are there in it. So I am going to discuss about the transversal and the line that it cuts. So what is a transversal? Transversal is a line that cuts a pair of lines at two distinct points. Let me show you. So if these are two lines, and of course you can see that the two lines are being cut by this transversal. Now this transversal gives rise to certain angles which children should know when they are doing lines and angles. Now, since this is a transversal, it is intersecting the two lines at two distinct points. There are few angles which needs to be remembered. Now, this pair and this pair, as we can see that both these angles are on the same side of the transversal and they are on top of both the lines, right? So when we talk about such angles that are on the same side of the transversal and upwards, those angles are named as corresponding angles. So angle 1 and angle 2 are corresponding angles. I hope I'm clear now. Once again, I will say that this angle 1 is corresponding to angle 2, and you just need to see one thing, that they have to be on the same side of the transversal and on the same part. Like if it is upward, then the other angle should also on the upper side. Now, this way we can form many other pairs of corresponding angles like this. This is angle 3, then this will be equals to this. This is again, these two are on the same side of the transversal and on the upper side of the lines. Now we will see the bottom part. If you see this angle of, let's name it 5. So if we have taken this angle on this side, the other also have to be on this side and it has to be on the bottom part then. So now angle 5 and angle 6. I'll write down the pairs here. We have angle 1 and angle 2. We have angle 3 and angle 4. Similarly, we have angle 5 and angle 6, and last we have one more pair which is on the right hand side of this line. So and the last pair is this one. Let's name it 7 and 8. So we have got 4 pairs of corresponding angles. Remember, it has to be on the same side of the transversal and on the same part. Like if it is upper, then you have to take the upper part of the next line as well. And why? And same thing goes for other pairs of angles as well. So this is all about corresponding angles. Now again we have two lines and a transversal that is cutting both the lines. I'm going to talk about alternate interior angles. Now interior means they have to be inside the two lines, in between the two lines rather. So if you can see this and this, in between the two lines we are having certain angles. One is this, one is this, one is this, and one is this. So of course when the name is alternate interior angles, then of course we are going to look at the angles that are between the two lines. Now it says alternate interior. So alternate means one you have to take it from here, then the other will come from the other side and on the other line. Remember, alternate interior, look for the interior angles, then look for the alternate of it. If you are taking one angle on this side, the other has to be on the opposite side and on the other line. That's alternate interior angles. So alternate interior angles. So now we have certain more pairs of alternate interior angles. I can say there is one more pair. We have already taken the two angles that were in interior. There is one more pair left, and that I can name as 3 and 4. So we have two pairs of interior alternate angles. You might find remembering the names difficult, but that is something which needs to be mugged up. So for that, just keep on saying the names. This one is easier because it's interior. It's about the angles that comes in between the two lines, and alternate, of course, the opposite. Like one has to be taken from the first line, the other has to come from the next line, and on the opposite side. So that gives you alternate interior angles. Similarly, we can talk about alternate exterior angles. So when we look for alternate exterior angles, you have to look at the outer part of the line. So these are the outer part. Let's name them A, B, C, D. A, B, C, and D. So we have these angles now. They are in exterior, we know this. Again, it's alternate exterior angle. So if you're taking this angle from this side, the other has to be on the other side and on the other line. So if you have taken this A, the other has to come from the other line and on the other side. So alternate exterior angle we have as angle A and angle D and angle B and angle C. These two types of angles we have only couples of it. Like we have two pairs of alternate interior angles, we have two pairs of alternate exterior angles. We have one more pair of angles that is coming, that is a couple of it. So I'll talk about it. I've spoken about corresponding angles, I've spoken about alternate interior angles and alternate exterior angles. Now we are left with one more pair of angles, and that is co-interior angles. You can also call it as co-allied angles. So let's talk about co-interior angles now. Now, as the name goes, interior, again we are going to look at the angles that are between the two lines. Co-interior. Alternately, we were taking one on this side and one on the other side. Now, co-interior, it has to be on the same side and in the interior. That means in between the two lines. So you can easily make that out. Here, angle B and angle C are co-interior. Now, if the same angles that I just spoke about takes place on the parallel lines, then those angles becomes equal. Like talk about the lines that are parallel. If the lines are given to us as parallel already and the transversal is cutting the two lines, then the angles formed on it are going to be either equal or their sum is going to be 180. Now I'll tell you what type of angles are equal and whose sum is 180 degrees. If you see this angle 5x and this angle 4x plus 1, these are corresponding angles. So the two angles are going to be equal. You can simply write like this and write down the reason. Writing the reason is very important, or else you will lose your marks. So here you can write down 5x is equals to 4x plus 1, and the reason is corresponding angles are equal, and with this you can find the value of x. So just do the transposition. You can bring this 4x here, and with that you change the sign of 4x, let 1 at its own place. So here we have x equals to 1. And if you put this value of x here, you'll get 5. And if you put it here, you'll get 4 plus 1, again 5. So the values are coming out to be same. And also you can figure out the remaining angles. Like if this is 5x, this is also going to be 5x. If this is 4x plus 1, this will also be 4x plus 1. And then if this is, these two are also going to be equal. The reason being they are alternate interior angles. So you can also keep them as equal and again find the value of x. It depends which pair of angles you remember at a particular time, and you can use that to find the different angles. And also if two angles are formed on a straight line, then their sum is 180 degrees. If this is x and this is 2x, this will be x plus 2x equals to 180. And for this, you can write the reason as linear pair or supplementary angles. And with that, you can find the value of x again. So with this, we can easily make out and we can easily find out the values of the unknown angles like x, or if any angle is missing, you can find that as well. Just remember the properties of parallelism. Alright, now I would like to talk about the co-interior angles, which is the only pair of angles which is not taken as equal, but the sum of those two angles is equals to 180. So as I told you about co-interior angles, they are on the same side of the transversal and they are in between the two lines. So we have these two angles and they are co-interior angles and the lines are parallel. So we can take their sum as 6x plus 60 equals to 180. So 6x equals to 180 minus 60, which will give you 120 upon 6 equals to 20 degrees. So this is the only pair that is not equal, and this has to be like again mugged up that you cannot take the two angles as equal, but we can take their sum as equal. And of course you can write the reason here: co-interior angles. And if you want to elaborate, you can add on that the sum of co-interior angles is always 180 degrees. So with the help of these angles, we can figure out all the unknown angles even if one angle is given to us. You just need to apply the correct properties and then you are done with the question. This is just the part 1 of lines and angles. I'll be giving you another video on it. So keep watching and do subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.